नमस्कार दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अनसरकारी। मैं हूं विकास भारद्वाज एंड टुडे वी आर टेकिंग अप वन ऑफ द मोस्ट रिमार्केबल पर्सनालिटीज इन मॉडर्न इंडिया who was responsible for shaping India's success, if I say, in the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. He was the key architect, and that is why he is one of the most foremost role models. And Sam Sir is fondly known as Sam Bahadur also. But can we say that the success in the 1971 war was his personal success, or it was much more than that? Let's see into his personality so that we can understand and imbibe values of Sam Sir, because he was a great soldier and a great human being too. Sam Sir, his name was Sam Hormuzji Framji Jamshedji Manekshaw, or Sam Maneksaw, that's how we fondly know him. He was born in Amritsar in the year 1914, and it was his desire since childhood that he wanted to join Indian Army, and that's how he joined IMA, Indian Military Academy, in 1932. But interestingly, it was an act of rebellion against his father. Father of Sam Sir was a physician, and that's how he was commissioned in the 4 by 12 Frontier Force Regiment. He fought in the Second World War, and after a long and distinguished service, you can say, in 1969 he was appointed as the army chief. And that's how, after the 1971 war, because we say he was the person who crafted a perfect war of 1971, he was awarded the 5-star rank of Field Marshal at the age of 59. And interestingly, and also a matter of pride for all of us as an Indian, that he was the first Indian general to receive this ceremonial rank. Later on, the first Indian Commander-in-Chief of the army, K.M. Karyappa sir, was also awarded the rank in 1986. And one more information I would like to share with you: Arjan Singh sir was awarded the Indian Air Force equivalent of the Marshal of Indian Air Force. So we say Marshal Arjan Singh sir in 2002. It was in 1972, the next year after the war, that Sam sir was awarded Padma Vibhushan. And that's what we can say, lot of honor and regard and the glory that he had. It was because of the war of 1971, which he was the leading hero. But he never believed so, in his own words. Because India and Bangladesh, they are celebrating 50th Victory Day, or we can say Vijay Divas. And that is how we are talking about Sam Sir. Sam Sir never towed down before the political masters, and he always stood firm on his logic and decision, yet maintained cordial relationship with them. How? How can we say so? In Sam Sir's words, he always said that my job is to fight to win. And that was his attitude, which he described to our ex and Honorable Prime Minister Indira Gandhi ji. And this was with this attitude of fight and fight to win that Sam sir was able to create an attitude for success. He was the key architect of 1971 victory war, as I said, along with the Honorable Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and other officials. Without, without the courage and martyrdom of scores of army personnel, because they are also equal partners and equal leaders in success. When he was asked to prepare for a strategy for the 1971 war, he was understanding that it must be at the right time. That is why he asked the Honorable Prime Minister Indira Gandhi 6 months' time to prepare for the war. But once he was ready, there was no looking back. And interestingly, and also a matter of pride for us, there were no human right violations from the Indian side, despite the great scale of victory. And even we know that more than 93,000 soldiers or Pakistani soldiers also surrendered to us. So that is how, when he was first asked to go for the war, because refugees were Bangladeshi refugees, we say that they had started pouring into India from the then East Pakistan. At that time, Sam sir flatly refused that he needed time and he needed to understand the strategic and right conditions. He believed and he was knowing well that the Himalayan passes are opening at that time, and that's how Chinese may get an opportunity. That is how monsoon will be breaking and the rains will be all over and the area will be flooded. That is how the movement will be confined on road and logistic supplies will be going haywire. And he said that we are going to have 100% defeat. And he was even ready to resign on these lines. But then Prime Minister told him that you can start when you feel ready for the success. So we can say that Sam sir believed that the success in any war is imbibed in one's mind. That is how he was able to understand that monsoon can be used in a strategic manner, and Chinese have also to be tackled, as I just said. That is why he took responsibility, and by November 1971, by which time rains had stopped, rivers have receded, and snow on the mountains would also block Chinese, he was more than ready. Because in general, we don't find generals of army entering into battlefield in personal capacity. But it is their role to keep the level of enthusiasm and also pride of the country intact. So whenever Sam sir used to interact with soldiers, he will address them, boost them and give them enthusiasm for only single motto, that is victory, but in a moral, ethical and also in a very, very strategic sense. So we can say that Sam sir was on one hand a noble person, but on the other hand he was a very strategic in his approach. He raised a force of badmashes, his fond term for guerrilla groups. He created guerrilla groups, and along with that, not only weapons but the mutual faith among the commanders and the subordinates. He always believed that these are the factors by which we will get success. Never ever there were any complaints. His informal way of addressing always used to break the ice between hierarchy of different ranks at the top level and even at the low level. So you can say that when later on we were talking about 93,000 Bangladeshi Pakistani soldiers who were captured in the war, why they are treated in such a good manner? When this question was raised, then it was Sam sir who believed and who said that they were also soldiers, in fact, at the end of the day, and they had fought well. Such were his ethics, and such were his, you can say, aura. In personal life also, he was a great human being, and he always gave due space to his family and to his wife, and that is how they had a great sense of uh, happiness and a pleasant aura in family environments also. He was always ready to give respect, and always, he always promoted such ideas where respectful ideas and values were not just in the family but in the whole community. And that is how we can see Sam Sir, apart from his strategic and a great contribution in the 1971 war, of which we say he was the key architect. Sam Sir, or Sam Bahadur Sir, is our role model. We learn from him, we imbibe his ideas, we see him as a nation builder, we see him as a great Indian, and we do give our great respect to him, and we promise to learn from his ideas so that we can also serve and do our duties in the right way. Thank you very much. Do write back your ideas and also imbibe his values, because there is no shortcut to sincerity and success.